Hi, and welcome to the Spark Change podcast. I'm Denise Miller. I'm the advocacy coordinator for FireSteel, which is a network of YWCAs in Washington committed to ending family homelessness.
And I'm Erin Murphy. I'm the Director of Community Engagement for the YWCA Seattle King Snohomish.
And today we are talking about analytics. So by that we mean measuring to figure out if your content is having the desired outcomes that you want. How impactful is it? How effective is it? And so we're going to talk about goal setting, which is an important part of actually measuring. We'll talk about some tools and tips for doing quantitative measurements, and we'll also talk about the importance of qualitative measurements.
Yeah, and we're going to try really hard not to bore you during this podcast, but it's super important to touch on, or else how do we know that we're successful in our digital advocacy work? So one of the most important things to do setting out is to ask yourself, what is the desired outcome of my online content? Or the way that I often think about it is, what is our ultimate goal? And then how do we work backwards from that and set it up so we can track our way towards that goal?
Absolutely. A lot of people, including like Beth Kanter, who's sort of a nonprofit social media guru, have written quite extensively about this. And so one technique that they use is called a SMART objective. And so that's basically coming up with a statement that is specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and timely. And so that would be outlining the goals and the purpose. So why do we have a Twitter account, and what are we hoping to do with it, right? So like Erin said, coming up with your end desire and then working backward from there. So for example, if FireSteel wants to grow our community, one way we might do that is on Facebook. So maybe by the end of February, we want to increase our number of Facebook followers from 330-something to 400. And we're going to do that by doing more in-person trainings and even increasing our relationship building beyond the Puget Sound region, but over in, say, Eastern Washington. And maybe we'd also ask our partner organizations to share our content more. So that's an example of a SMART objective to reach that goal of just having a larger Facebook community and getting more eyes on our content overall.
Yeah, and Facebook is a really great place to start for getting your measurements. If you are an admin for your Facebook page, it's built in. It's called Insights, and it's right there at the top of the page. So some really basic quantitative measurements you can get from Facebook Insights include number of followers, which is helpful, but I actually prefer to look at engagement. You can have 1,000 followers, and if only 5 people are actively interacting with you, it's not that vibrant of a community. So the kind of engagement that you can track on Facebook includes things like clicks, shares, and likes. I really love shares, especially because not only are your followers interacting with your content, but you're getting even more exposure by them exposing their networks to your content.
Absolutely. And so we also like to look really closely at our most popular posts. And so we consider, what time of day did we post this, and what type of post is it? Is it a link? Is it a photo? And like, what was the tone of the post? What was the length of the post? Are shorter posts getting more traction? So yeah, lots of things to consider, and you can actually look at all of that from within Facebook itself. Just find the Insights section, and there's a lot of insight there.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest things to track, definitely. We use an external site called Hootsuite to do all of our analytics for Twitter. So similar to Facebook, you can also look at your number of followers. The engagement that we most look at for Twitter are how many retweets we've gotten or other sharing. So if somebody quotes your tweet and puts their own spin on it, that's really awesome too. And like Facebook, it's also really important to look at at what content is working, especially links. So we put in hyperlinks all of the time, shortened especially on Twitter, and just seeing what are people actually clicking on, what is not just the content, but also our hooks that we're using to get people motivated to click through.
Definitely. And so our blog for us really drives a lot of the content that we share across our different social media platforms. And so we also really closely look at the analytics for our WordPress blog. And so we use Google Analytics to do that. It's a free tool. It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And so, yeah, some of the dimensions that we look at are, of course, how many people are visiting the website, what posts are they looking at and engaging with? Are they clicking from that? How long are they actually spending on the post? So, if the average view time on a post is, 30 seconds and it's a 1,000-word post, we can figure that it's not really engaging people. So we might want to come up with different types of content than that that are different from that post. And then we also look at how are visitors actually getting to the site. Are they searching certain terms and landing at Firesteel? Are they getting there from partner websites, from social media? And if so, which social media platforms are working best and driving the most people to visit our site?
Yeah, and it's also really cool that Google Analytics offers short video trainings. So I've watched a couple of them. You can just Google Analytics training. Totally free. They're like 10-minute videos. I think there might be somewhere like 10 total. Yeah, so that's a really cool free resource too to just get more familiar with Google Analytics.
Absolutely. And then at Firesteel, we make a lot of video content. And so we like to go into YouTube and check out the analytics there as well. So we see which videos are getting viewed, and then there's also really powerful tools to see, again, how long are people actually watching the video, and you can see at what point people stop watching. So, you might notice, pretty much consistently across all our videos at the 2-minute mark, we're losing lots of people. Or maybe on this particular video, like this one person, maybe isn't speaking clearly, and so we want to make sure that, we might not have that person in another video if everyone's dropping off when they start talking, right?
Yeah, just thinking really critically about it and being willing to make changes. We measure our quantitative and qualitative information regularly. So for us, it's on a monthly basis. You can definitely do it more infrequently. I would suggest, though, no less than quarterly, or you're not going to be getting the information as consistently as you need to make helpful changes.
Exactly. So yeah, when you do those regular measurements, it's good to compare them to previous periods. So how does this stack up against last month, and what did we do differently? And it also can be really helpful to look at what other similar organizations are doing and which of their posts are getting a lot of engagement. So Facebook makes this really easy. They really encourage it, in fact. They invite you to set up pages to watch. And so you can choose 5 other pages that are maybe similar to your organization, and Facebook will let you know, okay, how many likes did they get in this recent period, and which of their posts are doing really well. And so that's a way to say, oh, they're doing really great when they post a lot of pictures, and so we might want to consider doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a fact that the best strategy is guided by data. So making sure that you have that data, so you are just that much more affirmed in the direction you're going in. We also, in our monthly analytic reports, include qualitative data, because quantitative says a lot, but it doesn't say everything, especially in the realm of advocacy and just awareness building. Sometimes you put things out there and it's not just hard numbers to show that you actually have been successful. So we have a couple of examples to share with you in how we've captured qualitative data to share with our leadership.
Yeah, so for example, last year we did a photo booth that was really popular. There was a lot of engagement on our Facebook album from the photo booth. And most excitingly, people were making the pictures their profile pictures, and people would comment, their friends would comment, oh, what is this from? And they were actually starting a really cool conversation about the advocacy event where we had done the photo booth. So yeah, that's not something. Yeah, exactly. So that's something that we just kind of, it wasn't going to show up in the typical measurements, but it was something that we noticed, and
it matched up with the goals that we set forward in the beginning. So it was important for us to share. Yeah.
Exactly. And we also we talk to our partners about the content that we're producing. So, a certain video might have 500 views on YouTube, but we've heard from one partner that she shows it at big group events that also reach hundreds of people. So, we can know that we're reaching our target audience even beyond, the digital sphere.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa, that partner's you. If you're listening, thank you. We appreciate our partners. And then recently as well, we ran a blog series on student homelessness. There was, 5 posts in that series? That was back in September.
7 posts. It was
7
a big one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, even better. Undersell us. And so that blog series actually caught the eye of a number of our YWCA program staff, and they reached out to us and said, oh my gosh, this is completely dead on. This is what our kids are experiencing in the school district. Who wrote this blog post? We need to talk to them, and we need to provide a training with administrators and teachers in the school district. And because we worked really closely with some other partners who, as Denise can say as well, they are just Seattle University, give them a shout out too. They consistently write some of our most popular blog posts, so we keep asking them to write them, and they keep being popular. We were able to connect the blog author to our program staff and a number of other people, so that the likelihood of a training happening in the school district is very real, which is very exciting.
So again, that's not going to show up in Google Analytics, but it's really important to our mission, and it's definitely one of our goals. So so this discussion has been by no means comprehensive. There are people who spend their entire careers just doing Google Analytics. So this can be just a jumping off point and food for thought about measuring your impact qualitatively and quantitatively. So we'd love to hear how you do that. What tools do you use? How have your measurements affected your strategies? How have you adjusted the content that you share based on your findings? Let us know. Visit our website. You can leave us a comment there at firesteelwa.org. We're also going to be sharing some resources, some of the great writings of other people who also think about metrics and social media for nonprofits. And you can also tweet at us at FiresteelY. You can find us on Facebook. We're all over the place.
Yeah, and we also want to make sure that everybody knows that this Spark Change podcast is available both as a video podcast on YouTube and also an audio podcast on SoundCloud and on iTunes. And on iTunes, you can subscribe for free and never miss an episode. And believe me, we are so grateful for our advocacy community.
That's right. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Until next time.